Okay, so I was just doing this by myself, but I'm going to do it again on camera so you have it. Remember, see, like there's two of us in this gigantic alpha universe, and when I fall asleep, you catch me, and then we have our encapsulate time to recap and steady one another for this up ahead journey that we have to take, and have to have a reference point back to why and what we want to do with the brain dead but moving in all sorts of dangerous directions around us. So it's like our navigational gear and guide in a biological system. All right. It also goes back to the Super Watson IBM. But all right, hold on a second. I gotta one track mind at a time. You first. Right. I remember you were mad because you're like, when we get older, there's a 4-letter word that only pertains to me and you and our relationship as carnivores, but yet it's coming up that your parents say it all the time to you. Like, really, my people are getting really upset about it. Why are they? He's like, I don't even feel comfortable saying it because we're so young, but, right. So he's like, if I tell you you are SpAcial, SuperSpEcial. Right, and then he said, now you tell me I'm super special. Because it's spelled the same. SuperSpEcial. Because one of us is at affect, while the other one is able to toggle back and forth between affect, effect, and try to help out his something special, his super spatial. So in super spatial, outside of our encapsulate moment of two kids just wanting to be in love, literally at like secret space program, like secret garden kind of a thing of like just two kids wanting to like nap next to one another and just like don't leave because I don't like what I wake up to. So, right, so Super Watson IBM, that is the super spatial diorama of multi-dimension. It's like a laser light show. It is a universal architectural gridding system all within itself. It is highly classified, but well, here we are with dangerous Buddhists with claiming to be like Tao, but they're not. They were never Buddhist. They are claim religion, which is fine. You go keep that back in your walled off closet, and I'm taking the letters and the spelling and all of the extra spatial alien extraterrestrialness out of your what you preach and your religion and Confucianism of confusing everybody with you being the same as me, which you're not. So why is it in my extra special technology that pops up, has different levels and different light grids, that I can walk around at any time? I can bring people into that moving, living alpha universe while I'm living omega, trying to get to and I can see the visual schematics of how you have me locked in to all of the wrong campaigns and all of the wrong stuff. I look up and out from the diorama as my living conscious moving extra spatial that you have me locked into some office somewhere. And I look around the office and I'm like, you are not allowed in. You're not allowed in. You're not. I mean, I have so many people who hired themselves. I mean, there is like a whole group, and I'm thinking there's even clusters of groups, because I think that they somehow clone the technology and the proprietary unit, the one that humans were given in one section, one sector vector of Rh negative biosignature in order to protect us. And now I have masters of things in science that they should have never known about, never learned, And then they cloned it. I gave Mark from KGB in his Peter Pan on one leg moment coming into 69 West Row, whatever, till he got his footing. I wanted to give him a heads up, like, go check for the manufacturing chip codes are in a Russian KGB file. It's on that server. So go. And, oh, right, and that is a KAT phone call. It was a robocall, ROBO call, that wanted to remind you in real life in case that encapsulate moment of your Peter Pan-ness on one leg, which was very awkward for me to have to watch. Like, why would they put you on one leg? Like, right. So, right, just want to make sure he got that one. But anyway, go back to Super Watson. That is a whole different platform. So why and who would manufacture this in order to trap my conscious living being in multiple diorama so it could be studied by multiple foreign exchange people that are not approved. They're not approved to even be breathing and living at this point, but that is a whole nother set of circumstances because the policing on this planet is so poor. So while you're campaigning for me marrying a tadpole frog man with legs and a body that don't, like, it looks wrong. I mean, we told you about that in ancient Egypt when you have, like, the hoses left on too long with the wrong genetics. You get people that look wrong. Yeah, he's half Birdman with a big beak, and then he's half frog, duck, with the weird pigeon walk. Why would you force that? Oh, right, because you wanted to hide more diorama cloning and investigations so you could get further in other areas. Right, yeah, and then, like, extort people saying that you had such things. Where are we in that cleanup? Because I know in Control Room, CONTROL, in other cuneiforms not being recreational vehicle human, we have a lights out program for the living that, yeah, oh, and here's the other thing. Okay, so you do realize that you are just one of, like, a unit of 7.5 billion, that's the anatomical number that they threw up, moving biologics, right? So you're logging and you're a bio and you don't know how ether moves, but you're somehow alive. That's what you call it. Right, so who owns the space and time, the science, and who owns the planet, the world, the whatever your little splinter wakes up in on a petri dish? Right, who owns the petri dish? The ground that you walk on, right? It is, we have different names for them. They're all in different codex, so this way we protect you all from one another, especially in these trying times of trying to catch criminals that are now hiding in dangerous locations with all sorts of lying and confusing, and they're playing Confucius with everyone. Yes, I'm going to Confucius you by using my special words that I learned in special files I broke into, and then found out where special science was, and then convinced someone with a lot of Confucius to do other things. Right, see, Confucius, yeah, Confucius. But Confucius was very smart. Yes, Confucius was very smart, and she still is. It is the rest of the stupid living that forget who Confucius really is. And my Confucius is the enlightened one. Your Confucius is the confused, walking around stabbing one another. That is your Buddha. I'm the blue-eyed Buddha, the good one. You, being anything other than myself, is Mensa Mensa. Oh, look at that, right? The man. MANO. Yeah, they're not men, but right, look at that. Handsome hands. Yeah, they sure are. HANDSOME, right? They are police force of a whole nother set of recreational vehicles. Okay, so, security officer, right? No, security operative is what we say on And then it's the M is the master of an easy energy field. Right. Okay, so that's where that comes from. That's where the word some, SOME, not the SUM. SUM is a different entity on a per se, PERSAY. It is relevant only in the orientation of where the center and direct of the order is that we're speaking of. Anyway, that's too high, like, consciousness for most every day. All right, back to, right, IBM, Super Watson. Actually, Super Watson IBM, because it's the interdimensional body movement of the cloned consciousness, which was never supposed to be cloned. It's once cloned in, but it was not supposed to be replicated. That's what they did. They replicated. REPLICATED. They replicated the cat, which they're not allowed to do. They don't have my permission. They never did. They are manufacturing parts and all sorts of stuff and then hiding elsewhere. If they can grab my cat, which is a god motion and genetic energy field, guess who else's little itty bitty splinter genetics they can pull in and do whatever it is that they want. Yeah, that's the one that should really fucking scare the fuck out of you. I don't know why you would go in this direction and allow such things to go on in your stupid humanness. Right, I would have listened to the God, even though you don't believe in God and you don't, like, want to, like, acknowledge a God. I get that. You have religion. You go do your religion thing. But I am multi-God, and I've been here for a long time. I always come back, always want the same thing, which is him, and to protect the rest of the sleeping people. And keep dangerous chemistry experiments and whatnot locked up away from the dangerous criminals that teach it now in insane asylums, and they call them universities because we didn't give you a license. I don't know who gave you a license because you need an extraterrestrial license, and you have my parents on the floor. Nobody asked them anything, but they stole the license committee, the investments, the funds, the confusing everybody, letting people out, right? And then new inventions, but you didn't invent anything. You were just the event at the time that someone, right, was like, hey, this is a good idea. Let's spark this one on that line. So this way we get some wings. Oh, while we're here, let's do the, I mean, it's like, whoa. And then what? Nobody knows the recall button. Like, nope, let's just scale that one back. Right. Now you've got like moving spatial energies, and you wake up and the paper you read looks right because it's the day you woke up in, but what you don't remember is 3 days before we were in a different spatial energy field and the paper and the tasks were reading very differently. Oh, did you not get that memo? Or did you not remember it because you moved spatial features in energy grids you didn't know existed or were possible, and you don't know how to vet or verify or double check? Yeah, that's why listening to us when we were 3 and 4, that we just wanted to nap next to one another until we were old enough to do whatever carnivores do in adult places. Right, yeah, that was a good enough explanation for us, but, right, no, you had to have more information and more dangerous futures up ahead, right?